Yes. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let me start recording. Well, I'm launching. Yeah, I'm checking for the technical one, like whether I am audible clearly and is my screen clearly visible to everyone. I've launched poll for the technical checkup. If you can hear me properly, sorry, sorry guys. If you can hear me properly and if my screen is visible to you, click on yes option. Okay. I'm assuming that I'm clearly audible and my screen is clearly visible to everyone. Now we are starting the class. Good evening, Muhammad Raja. Good evening, Jay Shri. Well, so let us continue the class. Okay, without wasting time. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so in the previous class we are done with cancer. ठीक है, कैंसर का हो गया था, कुछ चीजें बचा हुआ था कैंसर के बारे में, कार्सिनो, शार्को, sarcoma, carcinoma, sarcoma, and one is your last one, sarcoma, carcinoma, sarcoma, and last one is your ल्यूकेमिया. ठीक है, ये तीनों चीजें कंप्लीट किए थे हम लोगों ने थ्री टाइप ऑफ कैंसर के बारे में. राइट, वी आर ऑल्सो डन विद द डिफरेंट डायग्नोसिस प्रोसेस, बायोप्सी एंड ऑल अदर थिंग्स भी हमने बताया था. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे उसके पहले ये एक सवाल का आंसर कर दो, फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं. Question is visible on your screen now. The question is like investigation of tissue to detect cancer in a test is option A vital test, option B biopsy, option C radiography, option D MRI scan. So investigation of the tissue to detect cancer in a test is which of the following will be the answer? Okay. Well, I'm launching MCQ poll now. Answer me in the MCQ. Perfect. Mohammad Raja and Jayasri ekdam sahi. Very good, very good, very good. Mohammad Raja and Jayasri, very good. Great. Answer in the poll also. Well, I'm checking for the people, those who are in YouTube. Okay. So let me check what they are telling. Okay. Good evening, guys. Whoever is attending from YouTube, good evening to all of them. Answer to the question in the chat box. Okay. Last 10 seconds remaining. Sorry, last 15 seconds. Try to answer to the question. Students from YouTube. Try to answer to the question, students from YouTube. Okay. I'm ending the poll now. Sharing the result with the people. Result is like nobody have chosen A, C, and D. Option B chosen by everybody. Let me stop sharing. Then I'll directly go to the point. Investigation of the tissue to detect cancer in a test. Okay. So let us look into the question now. Investigation of tissue to detect cancer in a test is your biopsy test. Here what happens? Tissue will be taken. Tissue piece will be taken. And that piece of tissue, 1 second, sorry guys. And that piece of tissue will be studied. The growth in that piece of tissue will be studied properly. If the growth is happening in an irregulatory pattern, in an uncontrolled pattern, in that case, it is regarded as this particular tissue is your cancerous tissue करके कहा जाता है. ठीक है. Now let us look into few more things. ठीक है, इसके पहले थोड़ा सा प्रीवियस स्लाइड में चलते हैं जहाँ पे बताया गया है डिफरेंट टेस्ट के बारे में. कॉजेस ऑफ द कैंसर ये तो करवा दिया था अपन प्रीवियस क्लास में. ये सारा चीज हो गया था. कॉजेस ऑफ द कैंसर ये हुआ था. ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द कैंसर और कैंसर का ट्रीटमेंट कैसे होता है. कैंसर कैन बी ट्रीटेड बाय वेरियस वे. लाइक we can treat the cancer with surgery method, we can treat the cancer with chemotherapy, radiation therapy, immunotherapy. Okay, but remember this one, this cancer is very much dangerous, and for proper and clean treatment of the cancer, all the four way of treatment is necessary. Surgery, is the way to remove, surgery is the way to remove cancerous tissue or tumor tissue. So surgery is the way to remove cancerous or tumor tissue. जो ट्यूमर होता है उसको रिमूव किया जाता है इससे. Okay. Chemotherapy is the way where medicines will be provided. Medicines will be provided to restrict the cell division or to restrict the cancer disease. Okay, this is chemotherapy. Next one is your radiation therapy, where radiation or rays will be given, different rays will be given in order to reduce the effect of carcinogens, in order to kill the carcinogens, or in order to kill the cancerous cell, in order to kill the cancerous cells. Cancerous cells को kill करने के लिए, one second, to kill cancerous cell, to kill cancerous cell, radiation therapy is given. Last one is your immunotherapy, where immunity will be boosted. So immunotherapy is the therapy where immune power or immunity will be boosted in order to help in the process of, I can say, treatment of cancer disease. Okay, this is all about your different way for the treatment of the cancer, and it's better to use all the four methods in order to treat the cancer more properly, more appropriately, and completely. Okay, so these are the four different ways that is only given here. Like ये radiotherapy, radiography, CT scan, MRI scan and biopsy जो मैंने बताया था previous class में, these are different way to diagnose a cancer. Radiography and CT scan are the 2D image, are the way where 2D image, two-dimensional image will be formed. Okay, MRI scan is the way where three-dimensional image will be formed, and biopsy is the way where the tissue will be studied, tumor tissue, or the activity of the tumor tissue, its pattern of division, and yeah, that will be studied. That is the biopsy. Now I am moving to the next slide. Okay, this is all about your radiation, सर्जरी, केमोथेरापी, इम्यूनोथेरापी के बारे में कुछ दिया गया है यहाँ पे, इसको एक बार देख लेते हैं. जस्ट वी नीड टू रीड आउट द थिंग्स. ओके, आई एम मार्किंग इट. सर्जरी बाय रिमूविंग एंटायर कैंसरस टिश्यू. एंटायर कैंसरस टिश्यू को क्या कर दिया जाएगा? रिमूव किया जाएगा. फर्स्ट वन. रेडिएशन. सर्टेन रेडिएशंस विल बी गिवन इन ऑर्डर टू kill the cancerous cell. So some radiation destroy the cancerous cells, that is your cobalt therapy, cobalt 60, and X-ray radiation is also useful for the killing of the cancerous cell. Next is your chemotherapy. Certain anti-cancerous medicines, anti-cancerous drugs will be given, okay, which inhibit DNA synthesis, which inhibit cell division. So cancerous cell का cell division, DNA synthesis को inhibit करता है वो medicines. That is your vincristine and vinblastine. Vincristine and vinblastine are the two name of the chemotherapy or two name of the medicines which can be used for the treatment through chemotherapy process. Vincristine and vinblastine. Vincristine, vinblastine obtained from the weeds. Vincristine is obtained from the weed Cantharanthus, and vinblastine will be obtained from the weed Canthanasthus roseus. साइक्लोफॉस्फेमाइड, ये सब का यूज किया जाता है. रिमेंबर यहाँ पे जो चीजें इंपोर्टेंट है ये दोनों, vincristine and vinblastine are the two things which is quite important. Okay, cobalt 16 therapy, X-ray therapy will be given in radiation therapy. सर्जरी के लिए पूरा रिमूव किया जाएगा. For the chemotherapy, two medicines, vinblastine, vincristine, two things. Okay, immunotherapy, monoclonal antibodies and vaccines are given in order to improve the immune power, in order to increase or improve the immune power, in order to improve immune power, or in order to boost immunity. इम्यूनिटी को बूस्ट करने के लिए, इंप्रूव करने के लिए ये दिया जाएगा. हेलो श्रीनिधि फ्रॉम जेएनबी उडुपी. Yeah, Srinidhi, JNB Udupi is closed now or what? I just wanted an information from you. ये बायोप्सी वाला तो क्वेश्चन मैंने करा दिया था अभी. Srinidhi, just let me know whether JNB Udupi is closed for some days or what. Yes. Good evening, Srinidhi. You are attending class from home, right? So just let me know in the chat box whether the school is closed for COVID-19 or anything. Okay, nothing like that, right? Okay. Okay, great then. Is there any case in the school? Just wanted to know. I mean, COVID cases. Okay, let me know in the chat box. Huh? Oh, okay. Yes, few cases only. Okay, then we'll check that one. Well, so next, it is the last portion of the human health and disease revision. Okay, so drugs and alcohol abuse. So from this section, many questions has been asked, and in general, what happens? We ignore this particular section. We think like drugs and alcohol abuse in this particular section. A lot of things are there, and that cannot be studied, and that is very much complicated. Yes, सब दिमाग में आता है. So forget about that one. Study once, and I'm giving you guarantee that if you study once, then you can simply understand the things whatever it is there in this section. Drugs and alcohol abuse, right? So commonly used drugs are like opioids, cannabinoids, and coca alkaloids. These are the three commonly used drugs. These drugs are used by the affected patient in the form of medicine also. Medicine के हिसाब से भी use किया जाता है इसको. But it is based upon the power, or I can say doses. When it is taken in higher quantity, okay, I'll be there very soon, Srinidhi. So next week, probably February 2nd week. Okay, well, so anyway, so drugs and alcohol abuse, we are here. Commonly used drugs are opioids, cannabinoids, and coca alkaloids. Okay, so these three drugs will be taken in various ways, right? And if these are taken in high quantity, okay, if these things are taken in high quantity, then it will be, I can say, dangerous. Well, so let us move to the next slide, and we'll be talking about each one of these separately. Opioids are like binds to opioid receptor in the central nervous system and gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so opioids are the drugs it get bind to the CNS, central nervous system, and gastrointestinal tract, wherever the opioid receptors are there in our body. Okay, from the opioids, heroines are formed. Heroines का नाम सुना ही होगा, एक मूवी में भी आया था अपना, भागम भाग मूवी जो था उसमें आया था heroines. ठीक है. Okay, so this is if obtained in powder form, but in general, if you look into this particular structure, this is the plant. What happens in this plant? This particular milk, I can say, white color milk. White milk structure is there. It will be precipitated, and from here this white color powder like substance will be made, which is inhaled through nose. Okay, so it is extracted from the latex of the poppy plant. This is your poppy plant. ये कौन सा plant है? This is your poppy plant. इसका latex है, poppy plant है. इस poppy plant का latex, इस particular structure को latex कहा जाता है इसको. Okay, Papiver somniferum. इसका common name है poppy plant and scientific name is Papiver somniferum. Right? The chemical name of the substance, the heroine, is your diacetylmorphine. Chemical name is diacetylmorphine. It is odorless, white, bitter crystalline compound. So from this particular white milk color liquid, a crystalline substance will be produced or extracted, and that crystalline substance will be white in color. You can see in the picture itself. Okay, it is white in color and it is odorless. No smell is there. Okay, when you are talking about the test is bitter. Okay, it is taken in generally by injection or by snorting. What is snorting? You might have seen this in many movies. A movie called Sanju, संजय दत्त का बायोग्राफी के ऊपर है वो मूवी संजू. उसमें वो ड्रग्स लेता है. In many movies also drugs are taken by snorting. What they do, they will simply keep the drugs in the table or in a particular place. प्लेन में रखा जाएगा. उसको नोज से, एक नोज बंद करके एक नोज से ऐसे करके लिया जाता है. कंप्लीटली नोज से लिया जाता है. That is snorting. Through nose or through injection it is also taken. Okay, so if you are talking about this particular opioids, it will be attacking or it will get bind to the opioids receptor sites that is present in gastrointestinal tract, that is present in the central nervous system, CNS. Okay, the common name of opioids is heroin, smack. Okay, it is extracted from the latex of poppy plant. Poppy plant का okay, the scientific name of the poppy plant is Papaver somniferum. Right, Papaver somniferum. The chemical name of the substance that is heroin is your diacetyl morphine. Diacetyl morphine. Remember the name. It is quite important. Diacetyl morphine. Okay, it is colorless, or simply we can say it is white in color. Odorless. There will be no particular specific smell. Okay, and if you are talking about the test will be bitter, taken by snorting and injection. Is a depressant and slow down the body functions. So it is a depressant which will slow down the function of the body. Function of the body in the sense it will get slow. I mean your muscle contraction, muscle functions, so everything will be getting slow. And if you are taking this one in heavy amount, heavy drugs inject करते हो, then this leads to seize of your heart muscle, and when the heart muscle gets seized, it stops pumping blood, and that leads to death of the individual also. So this is quite defect, I mean dangerous. I'm moving to the next slide now, and hopefully we'll be doing this chapter before the given time. जल्दी खत्म कर देंगे इसको. Cannabinoids, this is I mean like most of you people must be knowing about this one. इसको गांजा भी कहा जाता है. Okay, the scientific name of the plant that is cannabis sativa. भोलेनाथ का प्रसाद कहा जाता है इसको. भोलेनाथ का प्रसाद भी कहा जाता है. भगवान शिव जी का प्रसाद, भगवान शिव जी का प्रसाद, that is भोलेनाथ का प्रसाद कहा जाता है इसको. ठीक है, लोग इसको लेते हैं भोलेनाथ का प्रसाद बोल के, चढ़ाया जाता है भोलेनाथ जी को. बट दिस इज ए ड्रग्स. It is cannabinoid drug which is obtained from the cannabis sativa plant, and it is obtained from the complete inflorescence of the cannabis sativa. The leaf of the cannabis sativa and the flowers of the cannabis sativa is used to obtain cannabinoids. Cannabinoids chemical interact with the cannabinoid receptors that is present in the brain, and it will again slow down the body. ये कहाँ पे इसका रिसेप्टर होते हैं ब्रेन में, और इसके वजह से कार्डियोवास्कुलर सिस्टम के ऊपर ये इफेक्ट पड़ता है, एंड कार्डियोवास्कुलर सिस्टम के ऊपर इफेक्ट करने की वजह से अपना जो बॉडी होता है, बॉडी विल गेट स्लो डाउन. बॉडी जो होता है वो स्लो हो जाता है. एंड दिस इज ए कॉमन ड्रग which is taken by young people nowadays. It is a common drug. It is generally used by this is a drug which is generally used by scientists, which are taken by the musicians, poets, lyricists. जो बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं ना, उन लोग लेते हैं इनको, because they feel like they need support of these kind of things, drugs and other things, because they will be working hectically. Okay, so they feel like that, but that is not required actually. ये मत सोचो कि तुमको देना ही है करके, ठीक है? So that is not required actually, but they used to take this one. Okay, so cannabis sativa, which is obtained from this cannabis sativa, cannabinoids is obtained, which directly affect the brain and the cardiovascular system, which slow down the body slow down ho jata hai. The other name of this cannabis sativa are like marijuana, hashish, charas, ganja. It is obtained in different form: hashish, charas, ganja, and marijuana. Okay, all these things are obtained from a single plant, inflorescence of a single plant, that is cannabis sativa. I don't think I need to explain more about this particular thing, because you must have some idea about this one, right? Okay, next one is your cocaine. So cocaine is also called as coca alkaloids. Cocaine is also called as coca alkaloids. The common name of the cocaine or coca alkaloids is coke or crack. Okay, it is obtained from the coca plant. ठीक है, Erythroxylum coca. The scientific name of the plant is Erythroxylum coca. Coca plant से obtain किया जाता है, and the drug name is cocaine, coca alkaloid, and the common name of this particular cocaine or coca alkaloid is coke or crack. Is that clear to everybody? It is in general taken by snorting. It is converted into powder, and the powder form of this particular drug is taken by snorting. You must see this one, snorting. कहीं पे दिया होगा. Yes, you can see here. Snorting करके लिया जाता है, इसको inhale किया जाता है. Okay. Interfere with the neurotransmitter dopamine. Great. So it will like interfere with the neurotransmitter. Dopamine में जाकर के ये interfere करेगा. Neurotransmitter, that is dopamine. Okay. Produces sense of euphoria and increased energy, hallucination, excessive dose. I mean, देखो, see, this particular coca or coca alkaloids or cocaine produces a sense of euphoria. I mean, the person who has taken this particular cocaine will feel like if he is the only person in the earth who is great. He himself, he or she who will be taking this particular drug will feel like he is the last person of the world, is the most important person of the world, is the most strongest person of the world. This kind of feeling will come in the mind of the person. Okay, and this leads to increased energy level. Energy level in the sense he will feel more energized. So lots of hallucination will be happening. Hallucination means you must have heard about this particular hallucination. Hallucination मतलब क्या होता है? The person will be feeling like if something is happening around him, but in general or in normal situation, that particular thing will not be happening. I mean, suppose I have taken this cocaine or coca alkaloid, I must be feeling like somebody is beating me here, or somebody is doing something with me, or somebody is punching me. But in general, the punching or beating or anything will not be happening. कुछ नहीं हो रहा होगा, but हमको ऐसा लगेगा, पेशेंट को ऐसा लगेगा. Yeah, like rope is snake, exactly, Jayashree. So the person will be looking at a rope and you will be thinking about if that rope is not just a rope, it is a snake. That is hallucination. Okay. Okay, right. So he will be thinking like a lot of things will be coming in his mind. Okay. So this is your hallucination. Next is your tobacco. Tobacco के बारे में बात करेंगे. Tobacco is the most dangerous, I can say, alcohol which is consumed by people all around the world by different way, through different way. You can see the smokes or people who usually do smoking, they consume this particular tobacco through smoking. Some of the people, they chew it, and some of them snuff it. सूंघ के भी इसको लेते हैं. So different ways से इसको लिया जाता है. च्यू करके लिया जा सकता है, स्मोकिंग से भी, और स्नफ करके भी लिया जाता है. This contain nicotine. This is a carcinogen. You must have heard about this one. मैंने बताया होगा. Nicotine is a carcinogen which causes cancer. Carcinogen which causes cancer. So consuming tobacco can lead to cancer disease. Nicotine stimulates secretion of adrenaline and noradrenaline. ये secretion करेगा किसका? Adrenaline and noradrenaline का secretion को ये stimulate करेगा. Adrenaline and non-adrenaline lowers the blood pressure, heart rate and other things. So जब ये कोई भी particular portion इसको consume करता है तो इसके वजह से क्या हो जाएगा? एड्रेनालिन नॉन एड्रेनालिन का लेवल इंक्रीज करेगा एंड दिस लोअर द ब्लड प्रेशर एंड हार्ट रेट. HR मींस हार्ट रेट. सो दिस इज योर ब्लड प्रेशर लो हो जाएगा. ओके एंड सेकेंड वन इज योर हार्ट रेट. दिस इज ऑल्सो लो हो जाएगा. ठीक है. कॉजेस मेनी डिजीज, कॉज कैंसर ऑफ ओरल कैविटी, गैस्ट्रिक अल्सर, कैंसर एक्सेट्रा. ठीक है. ओरल कैविटी में कैंसर कर सकता है, गैस्ट्रिक अल्सर हो सकता है. मेनी थिंग कैन बी लाइक कैन हैपन फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर कंजप्शन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर आई कैन से ड्रग. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट योर टोबैको. नाउ लेट मी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen, right? Great then. So tobacco can be, ये जो भी चीज मैंने बताया वो सारा चीज यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. अगेन देख सकते हो, कोई इशू नहीं है. आई एम मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड नाउ. नेक्स्ट इज योर अल्कोहल. अल्कोहल के बारे में बात करें. लॉट्स ऑफ ब्रांड्स ऑफ अल्कोहल्स आर देयर एंड अल्कोहल हैज डिफरेंट कैटेगरी. Different category of alcohol are there. This alcohol have ethyl alcohol, right? Is a flammable colorless fluid. Alcohol is a flammable colorless fluid. It will look like water. Okay, it is a colorless fluid and it is flammable, right? Flammable in the sense if you try to burn it, it will easily get burned. Prepared by fermentation of grains, fruits, etc. I mean, like it is prepared by fermentation of grains and fruits. Different types of alcohols are there. Okay, and based on that, it is based on from which particular source this particular alcohol is made. Yes, CNS depressant, इसको हटा दो. CNS depressant है ये. Central nervous system को depress कर देगा. Absorb both in stomach and small intestine. स्टोमक में भी ऑब्जर्व होता है, स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में भी ऑब्जर्व होता है. इट मूव टू लिवर बाय ब्लड. लिवर तक मूव करता है बाय ब्लड एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट रीजन लिवर जो होता है ना वो डैमेज हो जाता है, क्योंकि ये लिवर तक पहुंचता है ब्लड के थ्रू. इसी की वजह से लिवर डैमेज हो जाता है. इट लीड्स टू डिपोजिशन ऑफ फैट इन लिवर. लिवर पे फैट डिपोजिशन करेगा एंड दैट लीड्स टू डैमेज ऑफ द लिवर टिश्यू. और लिवर अगर डैमेज हुआ तो फिर this leads to many other disease condition and that also leads to heart attack and death of the individual. Alcohol, we'll be talking about different types of alcohol. Yeah, right. Now adolescence and drugs abuse, it's like a story kind of thing. In general, what happens when the person or an individual will be in adolescent stage? At that time he will be the most active person. Okay, and during that period his mind will be moving, his mind will be dancing like anything. He must be he needs someone who can take care of him like anything. He always depend upon some other things and he think like he can do all the thing in the world. कोई भी चीज ऐसा नहीं है उसके लिए जो कि मतलब impossible जैसा लगे. And all these things leads to this particular situation, that is your drugs and alcohol abuse. Okay, sometimes bad friend circle also leads to alcohol abuse, so take care about this particular thing. Both period you can see one, both a period and a process. It is like adolescence and drugs abuse. Like adolescence is a period as well as a process. It happens in 12 to 18 age में puberty to maturation वाला phase होता है. इसी टाइम पे फिजिकल, बायोलॉजिकल, बिहेवियरल एंड साइकोलॉजिकल मेंटल डेवलपमेंट टेक्स प्लेस होता है, ठीक है। सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर डेवलप होता है बहुत केसेस में, हार्मोन सिक्रेशन होता है एंड इसका लेवल इंक्रीज होता है एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द इंक्रीज इन लेवल ऑफ द हार्मोन्स फ्लक्चुएट करता है थॉट, मेंटालिटी, एवरीथिंग विल बी फ्लक्चुएटिंग, मूड स्विंग्स होता है कंटिन्यूअसली, mood swings will be happening. This creates, all these things will be creating curiosity, adventure and excitement that leads to trial and experimental drug and alcohol intake. So इसी टाइम पे क्या होता है, फ्रेंड सर्किल के वजह से हो सकता है या फिर किसी ना किसी वजह से, due to any other reason also, thing come into the mind of the person like let us try, एक बार कोशिश कर लेते हैं लाइफ में, and that try, that experiment lead to its continuation and that leads to alcohol and drugs intake regularly. So it start with a trial, it start with an adventure or it start with an experiment, experiment से शुरू होता है, trial से शुरू होता है and this leads to, trial से शुरू होता है, start with this particular thing and it leads to, I can say, your what I can say, the particular term is not coming in my mind now, dependency on that particular thing. This leads to dependency on the thing, I mean dependency on that particular alcohol or anything, wherever yeah, dependency, or I can say the particular term that is addiction, addiction हो जाता है फिर. So the person will be getting addicted to the particular thing and this addiction leads to, yeah, like addiction, exactly Jayashree. So addiction हो जाता है और addiction होने की वजह से दिक्कत हो जाता है. Again without this particular thing उनको फिर ठीक ही नहीं लगेगा, they won't feel good without these alcohol and other things, drugs and alcohol के बिना उनको ठीक ही नहीं लगेगा. So this is like that only, it start with an addiction, like exactly that is one you can see, a dependency and addiction, whatever term I mentioned there, addiction and dependency तक ये lead कर जाता है. It start with an experiment, it start with an with fun or with the friend circle, wherever whichever kind of friend circle a person must be having, and this leads to continuous and frequent use of the drugs and alcohol, and that continuous and frequent use of the drugs and alcohol leads to psychological attachment, leads to psychological attachment to this particular things, and that is called as your addiction. Psychological attachment हो जाता है उस चीज के साथ. The person will be thinking like, psychologically the person will get affected and the person will be thinking like, this alcohol or drugs is really important for me and without this alcohol and drugs I cannot survive anymore. So a psychological attachment will develop and that particular thing is called as your addiction. Repeated use increase the tolerance level. This is another thing. So if a person is using alcohol, consuming alcohol every day, the tolerance level will be increasing then. I mean like if a person is taking alcohol, I mean देखो पता होगा तुमको कि थोड़ा सा लेते हैं कुछ, मतलब क्वांटिटी होता है ना, कितना सा लिए. Initially, if a person is taking the alcohol, this much alcohol is also sufficient for the person now, initial days. But later on, when the person is getting addicted toward the alcohol, this alcohol is completely normal for the person because the body of that person got addicted to that much alcohol now, or the body of the person is acquainted with that much alcohol. Is that clear to everyone? Acquainted with this much alcohol के लिए acquainted है वो. This much alcohol if the person is taking now, there will be no effect, कोई भी effect नहीं होगा उसको. Okay, so this much alcohol is insufficient for the person now, so the person will be increasing its level like this much, and again a lot of alcohol he or she will be drinking or will be consuming. ठीक है. So is that clear to everybody? That is tolerance level, right? Practice makes a man perfect kind of thing. ठीक है. So continuous अगर practice हो गया, continuous addiction रहा एक चीज का, alcohol का, drugs का, so this will lead to this situation. Okay, then this will lead to increase in tolerance level. समझ आया मोहम्मद राजा? ओके, सो टॉलरेंस लेवल इंक्रीज किया, टॉलरेंस लेवल इंक्रीज करने की वजह से फिर डोजेस भी बढ़ेगा। फर्स्ट डोज में उसको लग रहा था, फर्स्ट डोज में थोड़ा सा, एक छोटा सा डोज में, स्मॉल डोज, इनिशियल डेज में इनिशियली उन्होंने क्या किया, स्मॉल डोज लिया। स्मॉल डोज उसके लिए सफिशिएंट था, इनिशियली सफिशिएंट था, राइट। लेटर ऑन ये स्मॉल डोज फिर से लिया जब उसने आफ्टर सम डेज, तो उसको कोई इश्यू नहीं हुआ, नो इफेक्ट, सफिशिएंट था इनिशियली। फिर कुछ दिन बाद वो स्मॉल डोज ले कंटिन्यूअसली लेता गया, तो फिर इसका कोई इफेक्ट ही नहीं पड़ा, नो इफेक्ट। देन ही और सी इंक्रीजेस इट्स लेवल, फिर डोज बढ़ाया, इंक्रीजेस द डोज, इंक्रीज किया किस चीज को, डोज को इंक्रीज किया, डोज इंक्रीज करेगा, रेगुलरली डोज इंक्रीज किया, एंड दैट लीड्स टू इंक्रीज इन द टॉलरेंस लेवल, जो कि बताया मैंने, ठीक है। नाउ लेट अस मूव टू द नेक्स्ट सेक्शन। वेल, डिपेंडेंसी एंड टेंडेंसी ऑफ द बॉडी टू मैनिफेस्ट ए कैरेक्टरिस्टिक एंड अनप्लेजेंट withdrawal syndrome due to abrupt discontinuation of the regular doses. I mean, like, now what happens if the tolerance level will be increasing and this leads to other major changes, I mean addiction, dependency will increase. So for the person it is like a normal thing. A person who is consuming alcohol every day, if one day the person will not be taking that alcohol, then he or she will be feeling some different kind of complexities, some different kind of complexness in himself. उसी के बॉडी के अंदर ही वो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी महसूस करेगा। इज दैट क्लियर टू यू? कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाएगा उसको ये सारा चीज, राइट? आया समझ में सबको? सो एंड sudden withdrawal from that particular dependency or addiction leads to a situation where the person will face different symptoms, the person will have different symptoms, and that symptoms is called as your withdrawal syndrome. All those symptoms together will be called as your withdrawal syndrome. I mean, like, if a person is addicted to drugs, एक person का क्या हुआ है, एडिक्शन है, इस person को क्या है, एडिक्शन है, इस person को एडिक्शन है, ड्रग्स एडिक्शन है, सडनली मैंने बंद करा दिया, ऑल ऑफ सडन स्टॉप करा दिया मैंने ड्रग्स लेना, इस पर्सन का ड्रग्स लेना मैंने सडनली स्टॉप करा दिया, एंड व्हेन आई स्टॉप this person from taking this drug, so what will happen now? The person was completely dependent upon the drug for its regular day, but now is not taking the drug. So this leads to certain symptoms that is seen in the patient or that is seen in the person. First one you can see, anxiety होगा उसको, anxiety, shakiness, nausea, sweating, continuous sweating, shakiness I mean वाइब्रेट करेगा उसका बॉडी कंप्लीटली वाइब्रेट करने लगेगा, ओके, नोजिया होगा उसको, एंजाइटी होगा. So all these things will be happening to the person, and all these symptoms together will be called as your withdrawal symptoms और withdrawal syndrome. ये सारा symptoms को combine करके क्या कहा गया, withdrawal syndrome कहा गया. Withdrawal syndrome is a group of symptoms appear due to abrupt discontinuation in regular doses of alcohol and drugs. ये पॉइंट पढ़ोगे तो समझ आएगा. रेगुलर अल्कोहल एंड ड्रग्स अब्यूज के ऊपर, डोजेस के ऊपर, discontinuous abrupt I mean suddenly discontinuation होगा. So this leads to appearance of certain symptoms like anxiety, shakiness, nausea, vomiting, sweating, vibration of the body, and all those symptoms together will be called as a withdrawal syndrome. Why? Because the person has withdrawn himself. Person has withdrawn himself. Person अपने आप को withdraw कर दिया है. The person has withdrawn himself from taking alcohol and drugs, and due to that the symptoms are seen now. That is why withdrawal syndrome. ठीक है? So I hope this is clear to everybody. मेरे ख्याल से ये चीज सबको क्लियर है. ठीक है, ये क्लियर है मेरे ख्याल से सबको. क्लियर है? तो चलो फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं अभी। इफेक्ट्स ऑफ अल्कोहल एंड ड्रग्स अब्यूज, अल्कोहल एंड ड्रग्स अब्यूज की वजह से क्या क्या इफेक्ट्स आ सकता है। आसान सा चीज है, इसको जस्ट रीड आउट करेंगे और सबको पता है कि ड्रग्स एंड अल्कोहल से क्या हो सकता है। लैक ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इन पर्सनल हाइजीन, खुद साफ सुथरा नहीं रहेंगे, लैक ऑफ इंटरेस्ट। ओके, नेक्स्ट, drop in academic performance if a student is continuously consuming alcohol or is addicted towards the drugs. So there will be a drop in academic performance. Okay, violence, recklessness, recklessness. Okay, reckless behavior, vandalism. Vandalism is like not listening to anybody or feeling like if I am the one who is the king here. Okay, intravenous drugs leads to transmission of certain disease called AIDS. So intravenous drugs अगर लिया गया तो फिर कुछ disease हो सकता है. This leads to transmission of certain disease because you are taking the drug in your blood. Transmission of disease in your blood directly through syringe, and that particular syringe is used by some other person also. So this leads to transmission of certain disease called AIDS. This damages the central nervous system and this leads to cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is the condition where the liver will completely get damaged. Liver cirrhosis, liver जो हो जाएगा वो damage हो जाएगा completely. That you can see here. It is healthy liver, how the healthy liver is looking here, and this is the cirrhotic liver. The complete liver got damaged. This is the damaged liver. ठीक है? So liver cirrhosis. Drugs like narcotic, analgesics, anabolic steroids, diuretics have side effects on the sports person. So ये जो drugs है, नाम लिखा हुआ है, narcotic, analgesics, anabolic steroids and diuretics. These all drugs have different side effects on the sports persons. You might have heard about certain sports person, they would have taken some drugs before to enhance or to increase their performance. They usually take drugs. उन लोग अपना परफॉर्मेंस को इंक्रीज करने के लिए ड्रग्स लेते हैं, एनर्जी बढ़ाने के लिए. एनर्जी बढ़ेगा तो परफॉर्मेंस इंक्रीज करेगा. सो इंक्रीज और टू एनहांस देयर परफॉर्मेंस दे यूजुअली टेक ड्रग्स, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दे आर आल्सो caught by the narcotics department. They are completely well checked before they should take part in the Olympic and in any national game, international game. And if anything is found in their blood, उनके blood में किसी भी तरीके का drug found किया गया, so they will be expelled or they will not be allowed to participate in any of the game, right? So you must have heard about this particular thing again, right? Sports person, they have to go through certain phases, like they have to bear a lot of pain. To bear that pain also they usually take drugs to increase the performance or to increase the energy level so that their performance will be increasing. They used to take drugs. Okay, so ये सारा चीज करते हैं ड्रग. Celebrities are also usually take drugs. ठीक है. प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल की अगर मैं बात करूं, so drugs can be prevented by various way. Avoid undue peer pressure. Undue peer pressure in the sense just leave your peer. Undue peer pressure मतलब जो आपका जो चाइल्ड है, चाइल्ड को ज्यादा प्रेशराइज मत करो. डोंट प्रेशराइज योर चाइल्ड. अवॉइड प्रेशराइजिंग योर चाइल्ड. चाइल्ड को जो प्रेशराइज करते हैं ना, वो प्रेशराइज को अवॉइड करो. If you completely, like if you pressurize a child every time, the child will get frustrated and he find some different way to get relaxed, and the different way is your drugs and alcohol abuse. So try to avoid undue peer pressure. Unnecessary peer pressure करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Leave them independent. Okay, उनको independent छोड़ दो. Educate and counsel the students or counsel the kid in regular interval. जब एडोलेसेंस में एंटर करते हैं जो बच्चे ना, एडोलेसेंस वाले जो बच्चे हैं, उनको रेगुलरली गाइड करो. उनको रेगुलर गाइड करो। ओके, एडोलेसेंस के टाइम पे रेगुलर गाइड करो उनको, एजुकेट करो उनको, ठीक है। इंटरेक्ट विद देम रेगुलरली, इंटरेक्ट विद देम, बी फ्रेंडली रहो उनसे, so that they won't feel any kind of pressure in their mind, because during adolescence time lots of pressure will be there in the mind of a kid. Pressure of study, pressure of I can say different affairs. You must have idea about this one. Different affairs in the sense boys and girls will be there, they are in the adolescence, so there will be certain affection or feelings that develop for each other. So that feeling is also like it is also good, and in other way it is bad also. I mean, if a person who is feeling very much special for a different person and the person is not giving importance to the person, then in that case, like different kind of anxiety or other kind of feeling will be coming in the mind of the person during the adolescence period. So let not them suffer alone, let not them I can say live alone. Okay, let's interact with them. Let us ask them if they have any issue, if they have anything in their mind. So these things needs to be done. So third point is like seeking help from parents and family. Ask the parents and family to interact with the kid every time. They must be friendly होने के लिए बोलो, ठीक है, so that if the kid will be facing any kind of issue, the kid will directly interact with the parents, with the family, instead of going for some alcohol and drug abuse, looking for danger sign. I mean, if you find any kind of danger sign, you are like in your class 40 students, 40 to 80 students will be there. In 40 students में कोई students है, कोई student है, 40 students में कोई students होगा, some students will be there, जिनका मतलब हो सकता है कि they are now trying to consume alcohol. Some student will be there, they are trying to consume alcohol. They have bad friend circle. तो इन सब चीज अगर देखने को मिल रहा है तुमको, तो just do one thing, inform your peers, try to inform the teacher. ये सब अगर हो रहा है ना, ये सब अगर हो रहा है तो फिर इन्फॉर्म करो, इन्फॉर्म टीचर, इन्फॉर्म दी पेरेंट्स, इन्फॉर्म पेरेंट्स को बता दो कि ऐसा हो रहा है, ये सही नहीं है, आपका बच्चा बिगड़ रहा है, बता दो. इन्फॉर्म पेरेंट्स एंड टीचर्स so that they can guide the particular person. So if you are finding, if you are getting any danger sign in the person में कोई भी danger sign है तो फिर बता दो. Is that clear to all of you? Right? So this is all about your looking for danger sign, right? Seeking from professional and medical help. So like professional लोगों का use करो, medical help का use करो. Many rehabilitation centers are there. Rehabilitation center are there which will be taking care of this drug addicted person very carefully उनका केयर लेते हैं और अच्छे से उनको देखते हैं rehabilitation center में, ठीक है. So look for the rehabilitation center and leave the person in the rehabilitation center if it is not in your hand to control the person. If it is like difficult for you to manage the thing, मैनेज नहीं हो रहा है तुमसे, तो फिर रिहेबिलिटेशन सेंटर को देखो. एंड देन दिस इज हाउ लाइक यू कैन हेल्प इन प्रिवेंटिंग अल्कोहल एंड ड्रग अब्यूज. ओके, आई विल बी मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. टेक ए स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड. ओके, इन जनरल यहाँ से क्वेश्चन नहीं आता है, अगर आ गया तो फिर कर दो उसको, ठीक है. ये पॉइंट्स है, ये पॉइंट 1, पॉइंट 2. Okay, this is point 3, this is point 4, this is point 5. Okay, here is a question for you people now. Which of the following is not related to tobacco? ये कौन सा tobacco के साथ related नहीं है, tobacco से related नहीं है. It contain nicotine. Okay. Option B causes cancer. Option C lowers heart rate. Option D none of the above. I'm launching poll for the question now, and I hope you can answer to the question. मैंने पोल लॉन्च किया है, मेरे ख्याल से आंसर कर सकते हो आप इस क्वेश्चन का. वेरी गुड मोहम्मद, वेरी गुड, एग्जैक्टली मोहम्मद राजा. Try to answer to the question, guys, as early as possible. Okay, then now I can end the poll, and then I can share the result with you people. Result is like you can see here. So everyone have chosen option D, A, B, C, and is not chosen by anyone. Let me stop sharing. Then I'll explain it to you. It's very simple. टोबैको से रिलेटेड, टोबैको की वजह से मतलब निकोटीन तो होता है टोबैको में, इट कॉजेस कैंसर ये भी बताया था, इट लोअर द हार्ट रेट ये भी होता है, हार्ट रेट एंड जो ब्लड प्रेशर होता है उसको भी लो करा देता है ये. ठीक है, सो नॉन ऑफ द अबव हो जाएगा इसका आंसर, करेक्ट आंसर. इनमें से सारे के सारे सही है, ऑल करेक्ट है, ये करेक्ट है, ये सब रिलेटेड, correct or related. So none of the above will be the answer to the question. Now, so this is your homework. Solve the question or exercise from the module P30 ka. Okay. So this is all for this particular chapter. Now just let me know which particular chapter in the next class you want me to revise. और इस बार जो रिवीजन होगा ना, क्योंकि ये चैप्टर कुछ लोग चाहते थे कि मतलब ऐसा है कि उनको दिक्कत हो रहा है, सो इसीलिए मतलब इस चैप्टर को हम लोग स्लो लिए थे. सो नेक्स्ट जो चैप्टर हम लोग रिवाइज करेंगे वो थोड़ा सा स्पीड अप करेंगे और उन चीजों को बस इंक्लूड करेंगे. B30 मीन्स दैट इज बायोलॉजी का 30 नंबर चैप्टर B30. ठीक है, सो रिवाइज करेंगे विद सम इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें, ओनली एंड ओनली इंपॉर्टेंट चीजों को हम लोग रिवाइज करेंगे. सो लेट मी नो व्हिच चैप्टर यू वांट मी टू रिवाइज इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. कल के क्लास में कौन सा चैप्टर चाहते हो रिवाइज करने के लिए? लेट मी नो. नेक्स्ट इवोल्यूशन. मोहम्मद want me to revise evolution. Okay, you want Jayashree, you also want. Okay then, so we'll be doing revolution in the next chapter. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्लास में, कल के क्लास में हम लोग इवोल्यूशन करेंगे. और इवोल्यूशन के लिए हम लोग आई मीन लाइक पीपीटी लेंगे, जो पीपीटी की थोड़ा सा देखो एवरीडे कम विथ सर्टेन वर्क, लाइक कुछ भी है जो भी है थोड़ा सा पढ़ करके आओ. ठीक है, सो कोई डाउट्स है उसको देख लेंगे. ठीक है, इवोल्यूशन कल से शुरू कर दो, मतलब आज पढ़ लो उसको, कोई डाउट है उसके रिलेटेड तो पूछना नेक्स्ट क्लास में. तो हम लोग विल बी डूइंग दैट इवोल्यूशन इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. ठीक है, इवोल्यूशन करेंगे हम लोग नेक्स्ट क्लास में. सो वी हैव 5 मिनट इन आवर हैंड. जस्ट लेट मी नो इफ यू हैव एनी काइंड ऑफ डाउट. कोई भी डाउट है तुम लोगों को तो मेरे को बताओ, मैं तुमको एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा कोई भी डाउट है तो. वेल आई हैव लॉन्च्ड पोल, टीचर एनपीएस पोल मैंने लॉन्च किया है. यहाँ पे वोट कर दो और जो भी डाउट्स है अपना बताओ मुझे. 12th सिलेबस में कहीं पे भी कुछ डाउट लगता है तुमको 12th सिलेबस में वो बताओ, पहले उसको देखेंगे. Okay, well then yes, I got doubt, I guess. Can we revise next class with neat questions? Yes, Mohammed, what is your question? Okay, Jayashri, if you want me to revise with neat questions, you mean like evolution ka neat question or this particular chapter ka neat question? Jayashri, you want me to revise questions, neat question from this human health and disease or evolution ka? Okay, okay. So, great. Jayashree will be doing that. मोहम्मद का डाउट है टाइम टेकन फॉर यूटरस टू कम इन नॉर्मल आफ्टर पार्चुरेशन come in normal after parturition. So after parturition, during parturition, what happens? The complete endometrium ka break hoga, then the umbilical cord and other things will be really, this will be rupturing. So almost like we can say during this period, okay, after parturition for a almost like during the lactation period, there will be absence of ovum formation. Okay, and during that period, the complete uterus will uh, repair itself, because during that particular time uterus का जो endometrium layer है, ये सारा layer का कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. Nothing will be happening. Menstrual cycle will be completely stopped for that period of time. After ovulation, outermost layer of ova, it is like zona pellucida, corona radiata. Corona radiata, yeah, corona radiata will be the outermost layer. No. See, corona radiata will be the outermost layer. Okay. This corona radiata will be secreting, corona radiata, cells of the corona radiata will be secreting some material which will be forming the inner layer, that is your zona pellucida. ठीक है, corona radiata बाहर होगा, जो cells होंगे, just below that this corona radiata cells will be secreting certain material, that is zona pellucida. Okay, well, I'm ending the poll now. So I think you have a lot of doubt in human reproduction, both Mohammad Raja and Jayashree. कोई बात नहीं. So just we are changing now the few things. If you have any doubt in any section, okay, what we are going to do, last 5 to 10 minutes of each class, सारे classes का last 5 to 10 minutes जो है वो additional doubt के लिए रखेंगे. ठीक है, कोई भी additional doubt है apart from the particular chapter जो हम लोग continue कर रहे हैं, उस particular chapter को छोड़ करके कोई भी additional doubts है from 12 syllabus, 11 syllabus, खास करके 12 सिलेबस. ठीक है, तो उसको सॉल्व करेंगे लास्ट 5 to 10 मिनट्स, लास्ट वाला. ओके ओके देन फाइन. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for attending the class. Bye bye, good night.